Hello, and welcome to AutoCrib's Demand-Based Ordering webinar. Demand-based ordering, or DBO for short, allows purchase orders to be generated for items based on their usage history, also known as demand. At the end of this training, you will be able to describe the purpose of purchase classes and explain how to place a demand-based purchase order. Demand-based ordering adds value by dramatically reducing inventory value in most cases. It reduces inefficient purchasing and requires less emergency orders. It covers spikes and ensures service levels. The system tracks and covers historically spiked items. It also reduces time spent managing min and max. With demand-based ordering, the historical usage is analyzed to produce a new reorder point and reorder quantity on a daily basis. There are several steps to implementing demand-based ordering. Please note that you must have at least 6 to 12 months of transactional data in the AutoCrib system. You will start by first defining your purchase classes. You will then add them to the AutoCrib software. Next, you will need to assign those purchase classes to the various items and set up the effective date. You will then run the demand-based calculation, review the calculations, and finally create your demand-based purchase order. Now let's take a closer look at each one of those steps. Before the demand-based new PO feature can be used, purchase classes must be created and defined. The objective of a purchase class is to determine how many days of supply are available before an item stocks out. Multiple purchase classes are necessary based on the different types of tooling and the usage history being dispensed through the current AutoCrib system. For example, a supplier would prefer to minimize the days of supply for high-cost, fast-moving items, while inexpensive items like fasteners should have a long period for days of supply because the supplier does not want to go through the efforts of creating purchase orders and stocking items that have a low cost value. Typical classes include fast-moving and high-cost items, slow-moving and high-cost items, fast-moving and low-cost items, slow-moving and low-cost items. AutoCrib offers more than 250 standard reports. Some of these reports can be utilized to determine these classes based on transactional history. For example, the monthly usage trend report located in the inventory category displays 12 months running total of what was issued each month for each item. This report can help determine fast and slow-moving items. The item summary ranked by quantity report located in the transactions category displays each item's total transactions and total value sorted by the highest number of transactions. The inventory turns report displays turns by item in a 6 or 12-month period depending on the report selected. The report also includes the status of the part, slow, dead, fast, or overturning. Once purchase classes have been defined, they need to be set up in the AutoCrib software. To add a new purchase class in the software, navigate to Purchasing, Purchase Class, then click the Add Purchase Class button. You will then need to complete the various fields associated with the purchase class. Let's take a closer look at each one of those fields. The Purchase Class field is a user-definable purchase class code field, which must be unique for each purchase class. The purchase class description field is user-definable and should describe the purchase class, for example, fast-moving. In the days of supply field, enter the number of days between restocks without running out of inventory. In the lead time average field, enter the number of most recent purchase receipts to calculate the average lead time of an item. The lead time is calculated from the time a purchase order is created to the time it is received in the system. In the review cycle days field, enter the number of days between the signal from AutoCrib to purchase an item to adding the data into the supplier's order system. The usage high and average daily usage fields are drop-down fields that allow you to select the number of months for the look-back period. From the usage high drop-down field, select number of months to analyze the highest spike or demand in usage for the selected period. AutoCrib suggests 12 months as a look-back period. From the average usage drop-down field, select the number of months to analyze the average monthly usage of an item. The average usage look-back should be equal to the number of months as the usage high look-back. A weight is applied to each month within the look-back period, which we'll define in the last step of setting up the purchase class. A spike is defined as an unexpected rise in usage. When the cover spike checkbox is checked, AutoCrib will include the spike coverage calculations. A spike condition can be defined based on a percentage of increase in demand over the average daily usage or the last 7 days average usage, depending on which option is selected from the greater than drop-down field. The percentage is entered in the spike defined as field. For example, ABC Company uses an average of 10 carbide inserts every month. The spike has been defined as a 200% increase over the normal average daily usage. A spike condition will occur once 21 carbide inserts have been issued within a month. When the Use Trend Multiplier checkbox is checked, AutoCrib will determine if the average monthly usage has increased or decreased in the last 3 months. Demand increasing or decreasing 3 months in a row is referred to as a trend. The final step in setting up purchase class is setting up the weights for the weighted average daily usage. Each month must be defined with a multiplier to increase or decrease the weight applied to that month's usage. When setting up the weights, a greater emphasis is usually given to recent usage history to determine demand, because the most recent usage history is a better predictor than transactions that occurred several months ago. The result is a weighted monthly usage per item. The usage is applied chronologically from left to right. The leftmost weight represents last month's usage, while the rightmost weight represents usage 12 months ago. Looking at the shown example, last month's average usage is 18% more important than usage occurring 12 months ago. When you finish entering all the parameters for the purchase class, make sure to click the Save button. Repeat the same steps to add additional purchase classes as desired. Once purchase classes have been created, they will now need to be assigned to the various items. There are 2 ways in which you can assign a purchase class to an item. One way is through the Inventory Items module. You can edit each item and select a purchase class from the Purchase Class Lookup box. Another way to update your items is using the Fast Edit tool. The Fast Edit tool allows you to make mass updates to items using SQL queries. First, you will need to create a query to filter the results. Then you can use an update statement to update the purchase classes. Once the items have been assigned with their purchase classes, you would need to set up the effective date for each item. This will be the date when demand-based ordering calculation will begin for that item. If there are newer items with no usage, you may set the effective date to a future date. Until that date, the max reordering point will be used with the demand-based ordering purchase order. We are now ready to run and review the demand-based ordering calculations. It is recommended that this calculation is ran immediately prior to generating a demand-based purchase order. To run the calculation, navigate to Purchasing, Purchase Class, select the purchase class, then click on the Calculate DBO Now button. To review the demand calculations, click the Demand link from the left-hand side of the screen under the Purchase Class module. Review the Reorder Point field, which is your new minimum, the Required Quantity field, which indicates the quantity that needs to be purchased, and the Order Quantity, which is the new maximum. The demand-based calculations can be also set up to calculate automatically in the Tools, Options, Scheduler module. To set up automatic calculation, check the Demand-Based Ordering Calculation checkbox and enter a time. The calculations will automatically run daily at the indicated time. Next, we will need to run the demand-based reorder report from the Standard Reports Purchasing category and pay extra attention to the Reduce Increase Bins section of each item. This field will read Reduce if the number of bins assigned to this item should be reduced. The field will read Increase if the items should be assigned to additional bins. The field will read Maintain if no change is needed. To help with bin assignments, you can run the AutoCrib Total Unassigned Bins by Bin Size report from the Inventory Reports category. This report displays how many bins are currently allocated to each item in each crib. Another useful report is the AutoCrib Bin Allocation by Item report, which displays how many bins are available in each size in each crib. Once the calculations have been reviewed and bins adjusted accordingly, you can now proceed to create the demand-based purchase order. Navigate to Purchasing, Purchase Orders, and select Demand-Based New PO. Select a crib, a supplier, and click on Go. To purchase all the required quantities, click on the Purchase All button, then click Apply to generate the PO. Congratulations! You have now successfully generated a demand-based new PO. This concludes the demand-based ordering webinar. Thank you for your participation.